Alright, so we're back once again, and today is a bit of a change of plan. Initially, I just wanted to upload this really good Yamato gameplay I had, I think yesterday, but something was drawn to my attention when I started playing the Yamato, and that is the ARP Yamato. Now, as you can see from the scoreboard, there's an ARP Yamato on the enemy team, and that kind of piqued my fancy. I was thinking, hang on, there's no ARP Yamato in the game. That skin doesn't exist in the game. Well, colour me surprised when I went to check the armory and discovered that there was in fact a Yamato sitting in there that you could buy. And that raised a couple of questions, mostly stemming from the fact that why is a Yamato on sale when it's a tech tree ship? Yeah, I was left a little bit stumped by that, but I suppose I brushed it off as it being just a skin for the ship and, you know, nothing more. Then I discovered it was actually the fact that you could buy the ship completely from the armory with no need to grind anything at all, and you got yourself a fancy new tier 10 with a permanent camo for just money. Yep, for just money. Now, I don't want to go to tinfoil hat saying this is going to destroy the game's over, the game's done. But oh my god, just when you thought we had the Puerto Rico disaster, we had carrier planes, even though I'm sick of talking about carrier planes, then we had Smolensk, the looming threat of HE spam overcoming the game, the really quick battles, and even though I released a video I think 2 days ago about how to counteract that, I'll give a link to it somewhere. The importance of being patient. Well, my patience is really starting to run thin with this game, especially now the fact that a Yamato, one of the most influential and probably one of the most iconic ships in the game, can now just be bought. Straight out, sign up yesterday, buy the Yamato today, and, well, I slowed down the game for no reason, and, well, be at tier 10 tomorrow, ruining people's games. Doesn't that sound fun? Doesn't that sound enjoyable? Doesn't that sound like a game you want to play and you want to be a part of? I don't know. Anyways, this game was pretty interesting. I tried to I think it'll provide a nice little contrast to what I was talking about yesterday, in terms of, you know, having to be patient, or not yesterday but 2 days before, but having to be patient and having to bide your time and knowing when to push and stuff like that. This game is, even though you do that sometimes, you're going to get those 50-50 games where it just doesn't matter what you do and you're going to lose as a result. This is going to be one of those type of games. And even though the Yamato does have pretty massive guns, they just aren't enough to win us the game. But we do decide to start pushing anyways on this side. I don't know, I think our team's split fairly evenly. I don't really think we have a strong or weak side, so yeah, we're just doing whatever while I search for a Des Moines. But back to the ARP Yamato. Now, if this was just a skin for the game, you know, it was just some kind of cosmetic upgrade, even if it provided some like in-game, you know, basically a permanent camouflage where you could just get extra. How do you type? Anyways, you just have to laugh. But if it was just providing some kind of like cosmetic upgrade or just even an economic upgrade, you know, like most permanent camouflages, it wouldn't be all that bad. And actually, the skin looks pretty decent. It looks pretty fun, or it looks pretty damn good. So that would actually be a nice introduction into the game. But the fact that you can just buy a tier 10 ship now, kind of, I don't want to say spits in the face of, but it kind of makes grinding more and more obsolete, unless you're really stuck for cash. No, I'm not justifying saying paying. I don't know what the price is. I think it's 20, 30, 40 euro. I'm not justifying saying paying that much for a ship is a good idea, or something that to be encouraged, or something that should be encouraged. But just the ability to have that there, and already seeing one in the game, not the shit on this player, of course, I'll probably blank out his name, or their name, because obviously you can buy whatever you want. If you know you don't have the time to grind tier 10 but you play a lot of ships, why not? but it says something about the game and how the kind of direction it's heading in, and it's been a worrying trend for the past 2 years. But again, I could just be wrong completely, and Wargaming could just do a complete 180 in the next couple of 6 months, and well, we'll be back to square one, having a fun, enjoyable game for everyone to have. Yeah. Now the Holland does try to sneak away here, but unluckily, luckily for him, I'm just able to get the salvo off before he gets away, and his torpedoes just run out of range. You know, best of both worlds right there. Now at this point I'm turning in completely the wrong direction. The reason I'm turning out here is because, well, it's pretty self-evident. If those torpedoes had been a bit longer range, then I would have been absolutely slapped across the face by them. Now that this kind of side's pretty much clear, we're free to push in and be a lot more aggressive. Again, patience. Patience wins games. That's not the case on the other side of the map, unfortunately, because our team decides to be, well, even on my side of the map, our team decides to be occupying just one square of the map, all huddled together, which isn't great, but that's to be expected. Now the next thing, and I suppose this is a bit too early to give an update on how the game's faring, how it's going and what direction it's heading, because I don't want to be one of those over dramatic guys that the game's dead, it's over, it's done, they released a tier 10 Yamato, it's over. But I'm not going to do that, because it's not, and it's going to be a bit hyperbolic for me to say that. I just don't like the decision. I don't understand the thought process is going. You know, let's who's in the meeting room in Wargaming saying, you know, it'd be good for the game and wouldn't get any community backlash. Let's release a viable tier 10 Yamato. Oh, but again, that's making the assumption that, you know, player satisfaction and player outrage is something they actually take into consideration, which, if the past is anything to go by, then I highly doubt that's the case. Now, coming up in about 10 to 15 seconds is going to be an absolutely massive shot, so look out for that. But again, as you can clearly see on this game, our team is completely melting to the wayside, and it's one of those games where no matter what you do, no matter how hard you play, no matter how many kills you get, or how much damage you do per salvo, even if it is for around 40k, there's... Why does this guy want to report? Anyways, there's just going to be some things you cannot do, unfortunately, and winning this game is going to be one of them. We are pretty much brushed into a corner here, and while the other side of the map is completely destroyed. But I just wanted to provide this video just a little bit of a comment on two things. One obviously being the ARP Yamato. I don't want to see fiasco. That's reserved for the Puerto Rico stuff. I think that's last Christmas or 2 Christmases ago right now. God, it's been so long. And of course, the fact that, well, this game was a banger for me, damage wise. Not actually because I won, but because we lost, and well, I still felt as though I played pretty decently. Not fantastic, not game turning, but pretty decent, so I just wanted to share that with you. As this is risky. Yeah, we do hit a decent salvo on the Montana, but again, it's not going to change the outcome of the game. And well, just like the ease of the the ease and ability for a player to buy the Yamato right now. I don't know where I was going with that joke. I was going to go somewhere with it, but I just forgot within the space of 10 seconds, which is kind of funny in and of itself. But again, I think that pretty much sums it up for today. Not much more to say on the topic. We do try to damage the Yamato, and again, in these situations you're going to be getting a crossfire from both sides. It's not going to be enjoyable, it's not going to be fun. That's why I'm very conscious of my right hand flank right now, just to give a little bit more of a thought process into what I'm doing. Somehow the Hindenburg thought that sitting still there was a good idea. Well, we're about to teach him that that's a very wrong thing to think. Well, back to my point. If you look on my right hand side right now, you'll notice that the Thunder is there, the Moskva there, and the other Thunderer is right there, waiting for me to push around this island. This is the main reason why I'm reversing right now. I don't want to expose myself, even though I could probably maybe take on a Thunder in the 1v1. I couldn't take on the Moskva, I couldn't take on the other Thunder, that would be right there. Instead, it's better for me just to bide my time and carefully just pick my shots. Again, the operating range of around 14 to 15 to 16 kilometers is probably one of the best for the Yamato, especially if you have the legendary upgrade, which I don't think they have in the ARP Yamato. Although, again, I could be wrong on that. I don't think they have it, although maybe you can buy it, who knows. But it's with the legendary upgrade, hitting good consistent shots from 14, 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers is so reliable and so nice. As we get, again, another 12k salvo on the enemy Yamato and 180k damage right now with 1 million tanked, which is always nice to see. Again, it's not enough to do damage, you have to be a sufficient, well, a large enough draw on the enemy team, which I feel like I failed at this game. I felt like I wasn't sufficiently targeted enough to actually make a difference. But again, what can you do? Again, hiding behind an island and what isn't going to win you games. But at this point, there's nothing left to do. Mostly just, we're going to speed this up a little bit because, well, we got our third kill of the game. And at this point, I just want the game to end because there's not all that much to do. So we're going to push forward a little bit here. Or we were going to push forward, but then we decided we actually wanted to play the game for some reason, even though we're down to about 3 to 9 ships. And we get 4 overpens on the heavy British cruiser, which is, you know, always enjoyable. But again, it's 3v9, I think, or 8, which is only going to end one way. But overall, this has actually been probably one of the more enjoyable games, and I think this points to something that I hadn't really considered in my previous videos, is the fact that when you play games, your mindset actually really heavily influences how much enjoyment you'll get out of the game. Really heavily. You could have all the enemy premiums, well, all the enemy team could have the most OP premiums in the game, but if you go in with a mindset of enjoying the game and not taking it too seriously, then there's a high probability that you actually will end up enjoying it. As somehow he's able to do 10k damage on me while I'm angled, while he gets away scot-free, basically showing flat broadside. Again, that's not a side effect of the ARP Yamato, that's just World of Warships for you, all wrapped into a nice little bow. But with that being said, that pretty much sums up today's video. It was a bit of a rambling session, it was a bit of a bleh, what do you have? But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one.